Yes, that's right. It's not a clickbait. It's real. We Vietnamese hate each other for a few different reasons that I'm gonna explain in this video. So I was born as a Vietnamese, so I don't know about any other nation, but I think Vietnamese is the most complicated people in the world. We separate us out to different kind of Vietnamese. We differentiate us out to different kind of Vietnamese based on the geography. We have the northern Vietnamese, the southern Vietnamese, and also the central Vietnamese. And then I know for a fact we don't like each other. I know time flies. The new generation was born every day. The Gen Z who's born in 1996 to 2010, they are totally different. They have a modern mindset, so they don't care about where you come from, but their parents, their ancestor, a lot or little, they will have some discrimination in them toward the all the kind of people. So let's say even me myself, I have a lot of friends who's come from the north, and they are really good people. They do good business. They honest. They treat me good. But in some time, I really don't like the northern people. It's not a big problem. It's just the way they talk or the way they behave. Some of the people in the north. This is my opinion. Okay, this is not applied to all of you guys, but this is my opinion. Sometimes I feel like a northern people, they always try to show that they have a higher level than the person they talk to, and I feel disrespect every time I got that person. And it's just a very simple sentence that very popular in Vietnam. Every time we hear that sentence, we hate it. Mày biết bố mày là ai không? It means you know who my father is. That means they always take advantage of their roots, where they come from. Just if they have a I really don't know how to say it. If they was born in a family that have the power of politics, if their father or their family are politician, yeah. And then when I was young, my family also teach me to, when I go get married, get the southern people, get the southern wife. I'll go to the north, don't go to the central. I know the southern sometimes they don't like the central either. And then I know the north don't like the south, the north don't like the central don't like the north, the central don't like the south. They just don't say it out loud because the behavior of the central is different than the behavior of the north. They don't try to show their class, they don't try to show their higher level, but they calculate more. I'm just saying based on my experience, okay? It's not applied to all of you. Because in the past, the image that connect to the central people, now they all rich though. Now they all rich, but in very long time ago, the image that connect to the central people is a buffalo and a young kid working on a rice field. I used to have a friend who come from Thanh Hóa. He told me that the studying is a battle, and he is a warrior. So he have to do his best to change his life, and now he become like a CEO of a foreigner company in Saigon. And I always told all my friends that the central people is the one that work the hardest all of the country, because they always want to move up in their life. They all want to change their life. So the three way that they usually go is study so hard, become a famous singer, or become a good football player. That's what I see. Now back to the topic, because of the differences of the culture, of the thinking, of the nature of all of us, we don't like each other. So in the past when I was young, I was taught that I have to have a different behavior when I talk to the northern people. I know it's a prejudice. It's not always right. It's just prejudice. You know, it's not come from a personal experience, but people have been telling each other. So let's say if you go to a North family, and then the North that northern family asks you to have dinner or have lunch with you, you have to wait for them to ask you 3 times. Because if they ask you 1 time or 2 times, it just affect inviting. It's not a real invite. Well, in the other way, if you go to the South, hey, they have dinner with me. They really true want to do that. So it's a lot of prejudice that make us don't like each other already. Like my dad in the year of 2000, he went to the Hanoi to learn to become a lawyer. And he went to a pho place, right? This is a long time ago. It might not be true anymore, but he went to a pho place. And let's say, I don't remember the exact number, but let's say the guy sitting next to his table was paying 10,000 dong for a bowl of pho, right? And then when he say, hey, how much is mine? And the owner, the shop, the pho place owner say, hey, 20,000 dong, 20,000 Vietnam dong. He's like, why? And the guy's like, oh, because you're from the South. He say, tại vì anh ở dân miền trong. So that's discrimination scare me. That's why I never visit Hanoi, and I only do that if I have a chance to go with my northern friend. And not only from I wasn't living in Hanoi or the Central, or I never have a chance to spend much time in those 2 areas to know what exactly the thought of the Central people and the Northern people. But I know for sure that we have some discrimination or some prejudice to the South too. Let's say I heard a lot of Northern people friends, they say, hey, the girl from the Western is just, they are prostitute. Well, but the South, the Saigon people, they don't think so. Well, they think the Western people is honest, incredibly ethical people. Yeah, the girl is beautiful. They was born in poor family, so they have to go to work, or sometimes they have to do something that they don't really want to do to their life, but they have to do to support their family. So that's the thinking of the South. But the North have the prejudice to the Western girl that, Western girl to go all over the country and go to different country to do, bad thing. So that's what my point is. There's a lot of prejudice between us that make us don't like each other. That's one. And even inside one area, they already don't like each other already. If you really pay attention, the Southern people is not the only one that have bad opinion about Northern people. Even the Northern people, they have bad opinion too with each other. I have a lot of friends from Hanoi, and then when we talk about Northern people, the person that from Hanoi always say, oh, she's from somewhere from the North, she's not from Hanoi. So the Hanoi people is always proud that they are Hanoi people, just like Saigon. I'm Saigonese, right? You always can claim you're a Saigonese if you live in Saigon for at least 3 generations. So that's applied to me. My grandpa is in Saigon, my dad's in Saigon, and I'm in Saigon. So I am a real Saigon. But nowadays, there's a lot of people, they just move from everywhere in the country, and just for like 20 years, they claim I'm the Saigon. That's make Saigon become worse. Because now Saigon is so diversity and has and become more complex. That's what, I don't know what the words to use, but more phức tạp. Okay, so yeah, so that's what happened in Vietnam. But now, 20 years, I was born and raised in Vietnam. I had lived in Vietnam for 21 years, and then I've been living in the US for 16 years. So I think I have little but enough to understand both sides. But now time flies, everything changed. The prejudice is faded, and we are getting along better. But still though, there's still a little in between us. That's in Vietnam. Okay, so that's in Vietnam. Now in America, it's a little bit different. The Vietnamese differentiate each other by the politics, not by geography. So in the past, after 1975, there's different wave of Vietnamese who moved to the U.S. Like my uncle, he used to serve in the Southern Army of Vietnam before. So after 1975, they offer him to stay in the U.S. So he stayed in the U.S. and then he do all the documentation to bring my my grandma here, and then my grandma bring all of her kids here. That's included my mom, and my mom is the youngest one. So I was the kid that under 21, so I can go come over here too. That back in 1975 to 19. I don't know, man. I wasn't born at that time, but right after that, there's different wave of people that come to America by Vietnamese called vượt biên, meaning that people they just come to the United States by the boat, small boat, very dangerous. So they're trying to get into a refugee in Thailand and Malaysia or Philippines, and then they wait for a third world country. Then they can come to like Australia, like America, and then after that will be the they call the ODP. So ODP is how I come to the America. The Vietnamese that come to the America in between the 2014, they usually come to America by the ODP, meaning that you have your family relative in America. They do all the documents to bring you here. So those people are switching from Americanized to Vietnamese. Okay, I will clarify more, but let me go on. And then after the 2014, because the economy of Vietnam going up, a developing country, the quality of life of Vietnamese in Vietnam are better. They make more money, so they can come to America by the EB-5. That is a way offered by the U.S. government for you to get a visa to the U.S. by investing almost $1 million into a project in America, and as long as you can create 10 jobs and guarantee a certain revenue every year. I don't know exact number at the top of my head, but that's how they come here by EB-5. So the people that come here, like my uncle come here in 1975, they call HO, meaning that the people that used to serve the Southern Army before. And then after that will be the I would call the boat people. So these people, they don't really like the current Vietnamese in Vietnam. Now the one that come here in 2000, like me, or 2014, is more like neutral. They don't care about politics. They just want to do business. They just want to make money. They just want to be better in their life. So it's a little different. That's why it differentiates us into two different kind of Vietnamese. Now I would call them the old Vietnamese and the new Vietnamese. Okay, so most of the old Vietnamese, they don't like the current Vietnam government in Vietnam right now. And then most of the new Vietnamese who come to the United States after the 2000, most of them are neutral. I'm using the word neutral. It's like me. I'm not a politician. I don't care much about politics. What I want to do is I try to go to America, make more money, increase my life standard. I can drive a nice car, live in a nice house, eat a lot of good food, and making a lot of money. I might not making as much as money as someone in Vietnam, but the purchasing power of the U.S. dollar is bigger. So every time I go back to Vietnam, I can have the advantage of using that to buy more stuff to support my life, my living standard, right? So I understand that most of the old Vietnamese, they've been suffering. They have a lot of pain. It was painful for them. They probably lost their family, their loved one. They lost the property. They lose all their money, and then that was a reason why they left the country for the United States. But then what I mean is there's a lot of new Vietnamese who been coming here after the 2000 or even in the 1997, 1998. But they don't have no reason to hate the current government. Like me, I have nobody in my life, in my family died during the war. We don't lose any houses. I don't have any loss, any damages. So there is no reason for me to against the government. And it's really hard for us because we are neutral Vietnamese. We're new Vietnamese. When we do video on YouTube like this, if we say something that make the old Vietnamese angry, or like I make the new Vietnamese angry because I say something neutral. So there should be something that make you unsatisfied or unhappy with me. So you like come in and attack me, and that's or people like me, and that's make this become really hard to reunion everybody. So I mean, if I say, think about it, if I say something bad to the Vietnam, to the country, to the government, I will be in big trouble when I come back to Vietnam. And if I want to visit my grandmom, if I want to visit my uncle, my brother, sister over there, what can I do if they don't let me get in the country anymore, right? And then let's say if I say something bad or I do something against the Vietnamese community here, it's not good too, because I want a peace life. I don't want to go to Vietnam Town and be in trouble. It's so funny because a couple days ago when my mom need a car, and I say, okay, she want an electric car, she want to drive a long range and she want to save some money. I told her the VFA, the VinFast VFA could be a good deal for her to consider, because it's a German car, it's hard. When you get into an accident, it's safer than Toyota or Honda. It probably good technology car compared to a regular gas car. And the 39,000 is just a super good deal. It's a steal deal you can't ever get for electric car. So I told my mom that, and she almost fall for it. But then my dad said, "Hey man, just give me peace. Để cho tao bình yên đi. Give me peace, bro. I don't want." My dad told me, "I don't want to drive VinFast and then park the car in front of a restaurant in Vietnam Town and someone gonna go break my window. I don't want that. Why? Let's just wait a few more years." So there's a lot of prejudice against each other that cannot bring the Vietnamese together. That's my point. It's tough for the neutral Vietnamese because sometimes we're really naive, and I totally understand. The old Vietnamese always think that we're like undercover, always spy or something. And the new Vietnamese, when I say something bad about the Vietnam and say something good about United States, they all think that I idolize United States so much. I just love United States so much, and I reject all my countryside where I come from, which both not true. Both statements are not true. Sometimes I find it really funny when I got discriminated by my own people, not by the Caucasian. Let's say sometimes I say, hey, when I go back to Vietnam, I say, yeah, Vietnam is developing. There's a lot of big building, and I hope the country getting better. And when I come back, I make a video saying that Vietnamese are developing. The old Vietnamese don't like that, and they basically say, yeah, you're stupid. If the Vietnam's so good, why don't you go back to your country and live there? And you're gonna have a better life there. Just shut the F off. You don't know shit. Blah blah blah. By the old Vietnamese. But in the other way, when I say, yeah, Vietnam, well, there's something they need to enhance, they need to improve, like medical, like blah blah blah. And I say, yeah, man, the Vietnamese who come to America, they just don't have the life that they have in their imagination. They come over here, they just do nail. They have to work on someone's feet that really stinky. So they both sides talk really bad about each other, and sometimes I just want to sit back and think, what are we fighting for? What is the purpose? Why are we doing that? Because I'm in real estate, I'm doing business, and when I go around doing networking, I talk to a lot of people, Americanized people too, and one common thing they say is, when we touch commercial real estate, we cannot compete with Chinese community, Hong Kongese community, or Jewish community. Not even real estate, in just regular aspect of life, they are more united than us. So the purpose of this video is I try to point out all the angle of a person that had lived in Vietnam for 21 years, was born, raised, and went to school in Vietnam, and have been living in the United States for 16 years. I did go to school though. I go to school, but because after that I get married, I have to support my life. I have to support my wife, so I have to stop the studying. But I think I have enough knowledge on the same both sides. So I just want to bring my vision, my opinion, my thought into this video, and I hope that everybody will move to a state that everyone that have the Vietnamese blood inside will think that we are Vietnamese. There's no Southern Vietnamese, there's no Central Vietnamese, there's no Northern Vietnamese, there's no old Vietnamese, there's no new Vietnamese, we're all Vietnamese, and we will be better to compete with other friends community. Okay, thank you so much for watching the video, and I hope I didn't say anything wrong. If I said something wrong and it's really make you angry, I am so sorry for that. Please forgive me. I just want to say my opinion, and I want to bring this matter to a world population, not just a Vietnamese circle. And I also want to figure out if in all the country, in all the nationality, in all the community, if they have the same thing. I'm really wondering if the Caucasian, if the white people in California, they don't like the white people in Texas, and the white people in Texas, they don't like the white people in Iowa. I really want to know if that happening in all the community too, or it's just happening in Vietnamese. You know what I'm saying? Okay, again, thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed already, please click that button and also click on the bell so it notify you every time I have a new video. Thank you, and you have a good day. Bye.